Ba-na-na-na-na-na. Hey, ba-dum-bum-bum-bum. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome to WrestleAM, half morning show, half wrestling show, all BS. And today we're going to talk about pro wrestling. Also on YouTube, you can watch this on YouTube, KocoSports, or wherever you find your podcast. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, heart, check marks, or whatever it takes. Do it for him, as SidsLight would say. Do it for him. Also doing a lot of G1 and N1 coverage on YouTube, KocoSports. Sid, I see that you are here, all motivated. How you doing, guys? My co-host SidsLight at SidsLight. You can find him anywhere. You find him at a local trash can or anywhere on the social medias at SidsLight. Sid, thank you for joining us today. Nice do it for him side.
What's up? How's it going? This is my background now.
Nice. It's a beautiful background.
Yeah, I work in front of this billboard now.
For those that are listening on podcast, he has a giant sign that says "Do it for him" with John Cena's of all different ages, but a lot of them wearing Marine Corps uniforms. Yo.
Yeah. He's one of you.
I know. Big number, good guy. Big number, good guy. Speaking of good guys, Bloodline's future. The big surprise at SummerSlam, there was a lot of craziness towards the end, but I guess the biggest surprise of SummerSlam is that Jimmy turned on Jay. And my first reaction, a lot of people didn't like this. I thought for sure they were going to build it. I thought for sure they were going to build this up towards WrestleMania. So I knew something wacky to do was going to happen. And he came out and you weren't sure who he was. And my reaction was, oh man, is it Kenny? Is it Kota? Is it someone from AEW? Is it someone from a big star from another promotion? Oh my God, is it Cody? Who knows? It could be anyone. And my response goes, oh, it's Jimmy. That was my response. And then I go online. I think that might have been the most positive response. I was just like,
yeah,
oh, it's Jimmy. Okay. Like, it didn't shock me. It didn't surprise me. It kind of makes no sense. And for a storyline that seems to be hitting home run after home run after home run, this seems to be a misstep. What are your thoughts on the Bloodline's future?
This is a jumping of the shark. Like, this is a huge jumping of the shark. We won't even talk about the fact that the rules of the match of tribal combat are that no one can interfere. Like, that was one of the core rules of tribal combat, was that no one can interfere. Oh boy, that went out the window. Everyone interfered. Everyone interfered. Like, what's the point in pointing out that as a rule if you're just going to break it immediately? It's so stupid. And then, like, I get why it's Jimmy. It's because Jimmy and Jay both said their dream is to have a WrestleMania match against each other. So I get it. They want to have their dream match. I just think that was a garbage way to end the pay-per-view. It was a garbage ending. Also, you had to cut women's matches, so Rhea couldn't have a match. Becky Lynch and Trish, which I'm not into, but that feud had been building for months, couldn't go on the pay-per-view, but we could have this obnoxiously long tribal combat which disregarded its own rules and then had like a 10-minute post-match wrap-up.
Yeah, and here's the thing, like, I don't know, I'm one of those guys, well, how would you do it different? Backseat booking as they were. Wouldn't it have been better if Roman beat him cleanly? Jimmy goes to help him up. Roman says, join me. He looks down at his brother and super kicks him, or, whatever the Usos do. I think everyone does super kicks. So, that's it, Well, I don't know, it's just... My reaction was, oh, it's Jimmy, was probably the best reaction I saw on social media.
Yeah, like, it's kind of dumb.
And I was as shocked as your cousin coming over for Thanksgiving. Like, oh, it's Jimmy, okay, whatever. But yeah, adding rules in your own stipulation match and then just not following just seems silly. Just absolutely seems silly. Unless, of course, we're going to get some of these elders to come in and be like, listen, you young punks, you didn't even follow the rules. Okay, that's just, we've turned Bloodline into a Thanksgiving dinner. Back in my day when we played Uno, we made sure that the reverse card can only be played once. You kids reversing in a reverse and a reverse. It's insane. You can't add another card to draw two. Sure, whatever, Grandpa. So, I don't know.
For me, at this point, it's dragged too long, and it's jumped the shark with this match.
Yeah, I think it's dragged on too long. I think it jumped the shark. And on top of that, like, where do they go from here? And is there still interest? Because the WWE fans think this is Shakespeare. Like, you talk to a WWE, like, loyalist, and they're like, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened in pro wrestling history. And even I think some of them are like, this is dumb. It just went too long. It went too long. Do you see, I mean, right now, I don't know, if you want to predict or book, up to you. You decide, Raccoon. Where do you see Roman Reigns and the Usos going from here?
I mean, they're going to drag it out until Cody at WrestleMania. And the Usos at WrestleMania.
So, there you go. And one thing also...
Which kind of takes the excitement out of it, because you know where it's going to be in a half a year.
Yeah, but, you know, a lot of complaints where that's what they wanted, but we'll see. One thing they did not want is Roman Reigns getting injured. Roman Reigns got injured in the match. A lot of people believe it was when he, you know, flipped over the top rope. He was leaning on his leg, and Jay didn't know and still dove on him. So he took a dive, would have hurt leg. And, you know, it happens to the best of all pro wrestlers. But there's this negativity going around. And I'll be the first one to say I'm not the most positive person in the world. I think being toxic positivity or toxic negativity doesn't work. Like, you just have to find somewhere in a place where you're genuine. And because I come off a little more negative than most, I don't know, I always get this like weird thing, like when I was like, oh, I don't like Jim Ross. And then you get like hidden messages like, if you don't like him, do you want him to die? It's like, no, why would I want him to die? And you're getting this with Roman Reigns. There is a lot of chatter on social media, and it's not like one or two guys. It's enough to be like, dude, fucking humans, seek help. What's wrong with the humans? That the story is because he doesn't defend the title enough, he has ring rust. And that's why he got injured, and he gets what he fucking deserves. They turned to Joker at the end. And I'm paraphrasing probably hundreds to thousands of comments. Here's the thing. I hate some people. I think I hate two people in pro wrestling. Maybe three or four if I stretch my imagination. But even when I, like, absolutely despise you, I'm like, I wish you could do something else somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like, even when you go to fire an employee, even if they're a fucking pain in the ass, you're like, hey, dude, I wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. Like, you know, I believe it's Tupac who said this, and it's one of my favorite business quotes. I don't want you to starve, but you can't eat at my table anymore. I don't know, rooting for an injury, that's just insane. Insane. I know a lot of people are mad because Roman Reigns cheats a lot, but to me that's heel. I know people are mad because Roman Reigns doesn't defend the title enough, and you have every right to be mad. I'm not going to be the one to tell you when to be mad and not to be mad, but I think there is a line when you're rooting for the guy to get injured. I think that is a little bonkers, a little insane. And coming from me, if I'm calling you insane, former Marine, you might need to seek medical attention. What are your thoughts on Roman's injury? And, you know, not everyone is saying, oh, I'm glad for his injury. But there's enough that it's like, this is weird and creepy. What are your thoughts on this, sir?
I think it sucks, but it might be a good cool-off for the storyline for them to come back stronger and to build the Mania. But I don't know how they'll handle it. I guess we'll find out Friday, really. But we'll see how it goes.
If I could just add to that, according to the internet reporting, it might have been Fightful, it might have been Observer, I apologize, source unknown, source internet, that the creative team was the last to hear about the injury. Like, the creative team found out about the injury through real life media. And according to the internet, and, you know, sometimes the internet's wrong, sometimes the internet's right, but no matter what, you'll always overreact. According to the internet, no plans are changing, even with injured. He's still going to show up, and that just adds a little fuel.
He doesn't wrestle that often.
Yeah.
So it's not like he needs to be able to wrestle.
As long as he can go out there, cut a promo, hang out with Paul Heyman. So it should be interesting.
Not only that, they can do backstage promos where he's sitting down and all that, like they love to do already. It's not like it would be a change of pace for them to do a promo for the week on him just sitting backstage in a comfortable chair with Paul Heyman hunched over behind him like a gremlin.
Yeah. Paul Heyman's facial expressions are unstoppable. Just unbelievable. So, Roman, we wish you a great recovery. I don't watch WWE 24/7 like some of these hardcore fans. I'm thinking about getting more into Raw and SmackDown, but we'll talk more about that later. So, we wish you nothing but a speedy recovery. But there is a lot of wrestlers who are injured. I'm reading this off WrestleMania.co.uk. On Twitter account, you got Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens, Big E, Randy Orton, Sami Zayn, Sonya Deville, Liv Morgan, Bayley, Elton Prince, Dakota Kai, Sol Roca, I don't know who that is, Braun Strowman, Shane McMahon. Is Shane McMahon really on this fucking list? Okay.
He is injured.
I mean, I guess so. Bray Wyatt.
He got injured at Mania.
Wendy Chu, Nikita Lyons, Robert Roode, R-Truth, Grace, Ariana Grace, I guess, and Amari Miller. And that's probably some NXT guys, or they don't come on to pay-per-views that much. So maybe this will give people a new chance to shine. I doubt it, but pro wrestling isn't exactly the safest in the world, especially if you do it as much as they do, and nothing but a speedy recovery. Next, Next, we have Big E. Now, this has been kind of old news, but Big E has been seriously injured for a very long time. And just recently, probably within the last week or two, doctors say he's probably never going to wrestle again. The internet...
Well, doctors more specifically told him, do not.
Yeah. And the internet says there's reports that they're going to try to make him color commentary. If I'm WWE, I never get rid of this guy. Ever. He's just pure entertainment. You know, he's won championships. Absolute star. Started off in FCW. Funny story, he wanted to be a mailman. Worked his way up. Was giving where most wrestlers would just give up, one of the worst gimmicks ever. They turned around and made it one of the best gimmicks ever, just with their effort and all that. And he's absolutely hilarious. So, what do you think about Big E's situation and future?
I think it sucks. I don't want him to wrestle again, though. There's a risk of him not being able to enjoy his life anymore because of it. That said, though, I really would love to see him, like, even if he's in a suit, I would love to see him just be the manager for the New Day and still be in their segments. But ultimately, like, whatever he wants to do at this point, dude gave his fucking mobility to the sport.
Yeah, definitely. And I like this suit idea. I like him being part. I also thought, this is what I was thinking, just to take it a step further, is when the tag champs get back and healthy, have Xavier Woods and Kofi go to the ring at Mania to take them on, but Big E is the surprise manager, and he can have like one last WrestleMania moment with all three of them in the ring, and the two that are healthy can still hold the belts up.
That said, if you're going to have him start doing commentary, just have him on those meat slap matches. Like the WrestleMania match with Sheamus, Gunther, and Drew. That would have been a great match to have Big E on. He loves big meaty men slapping meat.
One of the greatest promos ever. I wouldn't even mind start him on NXT and move up, because I could really see him being one of the best color guys in the business. He's hilarious. He's witty. He's fun. It would be an interesting situation, and we wish him nothing but the best. If I'm WWE, there's no way I ever let this guy go though. Ever.
No, no, you keep him on contract forever,
Yeah.
even as an ambassador later.
Yeah, so Big
He's
E.
a guy you can send on a talk show, and he's going to do great on that talk show. Like you could send him to have an interview with a Conan every year, and he would nail it out of the park every time.
Yeah, there isn't anyone that from like the grungiest of grunge, like WrestleAM, and to the highest of the highs, like the Tonight Show and all those guys. He blends in. Like a lot of times the guys that are doing all the interviews because they're injured or head off, a lot of them can't do the big interviews and the small interviews. I see Big E as so talented at this job. There is nowhere he can't do media and blend in right away. Just instantly.
I agree.
So
You have to wonder if Hollywood's where he'll end up, though,
um
with his charisma.
yeah, definitely. I don't mind seeing it. I just I know I don't want to be like Debbie Downer, but it really depends on his mobility. I mean, if you're that big and you can't move, you're kind of just gonna be big guy roles. You know what I mean? You have to. So I don't know what his mobility is like. So yeah, it wouldn't be bad at all. I could definitely see him, and not only that, but I could see him. You
You
remember?
would typecast him.
Well, if he can't move, I think they'll typecast
You
him.
would typecast him as a big guy.
Well, if he
You wouldn't
can't
let
move,
him just be a funny guy.
I mean,
He can't just be the funny guy in the movie.
Well, I was gonna typecast him
His
as.
size is consequential to you, huh?
No, pay attention here.
No, no, caught you. No, gotcha.
If he does have mobility, because I don't know how bad or how much he can move, but if he can't move his neck or head, you'd have to put him in places where he's just a big guy. But I could see him replacing roles like Kindergarten Cop. Like, oh, you're funny
Oh my
because
God,
you're
I would
huge.
love him in a role like that.
Yeah, yeah. I think like big guy comedy. I think he would be just nail it out of the park. And who knows? When it comes to acting and stuff, I know WWE says they're a movie, but once you have your role, they kind of keep you in that role. But who knew at the time that Dave Bautista would be such a great actor? Dave Bautista was never given that opportunity, so who knows? Maybe he's got some acting chops. Either way, wherever he goes, I think the world is rooting for him.
A guy with a dong that's reportedly as big as Batista's is, there was no way he wasn't going to be great at acting. Big dong energy gives him a lot of fuel to do a lot of things in this world.
You might be right. You might be right. I don't know. Big E, wish you nothing but the best. And WWE, you better keep this son of a goose forever. 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 Someone that they are not keeping forever is Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar has a part-time contract. According to the internet, he's not going to be around till WrestleMania 40 because he only has so many showings. And him and the Cody feud, he had to show up so many times that under contract, he's fulfilled all his dates. Now,
Nice.
I was a big fan of the Brock Lesnar Cody, but I'm very close to the Rhodes families.
Wait,
I met
wait.
Brock. I think I'm too close to the kitchen. I thought it was a good old school match. But you, on the other hand, you were not a big fan of the Cody Brock feud.
No, I love Brock. I like Cody, but I did not care for that feud. I felt like it went too long. I hated that Cody with a broken arm was still a threat to Brock Lesnar. Listen, for a lot of people, I can immerse myself. I can put kayfabe front. But Brock Lesnar's legitimately one of the most terrifying human beings in the world. Like, there's no world you're convincing me that a broken arm dude is a threat to Brock Lesnar. Nonetheless, a broken arm dude who's half his weight in size.
Yeah.
That was my problem with it. So I didn't love the feud. That said, how cool would it be if at WrestleMania, because we all know where it's going. It's going Cody versus Roman. 9 out of 10, that's where it seems like they want to go. Granted, maybe LA Knight continues to crazy explode and it goes that way. I doubt it. I think it's going to end up being Cody Roman. I think that's where they want to go, and they've had it in mind for so long that it's not going to change. Imagine this, though.
All right.
Brock's not coming back till then. We all know Roman cheats by having people help. We also know Brock respects Cody now in kayfabe, and we all know out of kayfabe he does. He's got his usual interferences going at WrestleMania. Brock's music hit, and Brock comes out. Suplex City, just destroying everyone in the bloodline for Cody.
That would be amazing. I think that gets a huge pop. According to Triple H, the Brock Lesnar respecting Cody was not, predetermined, was not in his script. That was Brock doing that on his own. So I find that interesting. Yeah, I'd pop for that. I would definitely pop for that.
It would be a great way to continue his story. Clearly, he's won it over. Good guy, Cowboy Brock. Brock says it's the most fun he's ever had in wrestling because it's him being himself. Yeah. And him being a good guy is clearly part of that. So I think him showing up to Suplex City, just wreck house on anyone interfering in the Roman Cody match would be a great return and final date use.
Yeah, and I think it gets a huge pop, and I think it's old school, so Cody likes it, but I also think it's right up Triple H's alley, too. I think, everyone involved likes this. I think even Vince likes this idea. I really do.
Because Vince loves all of them.
Before we go to the next topic, I just making this on the fly. I think me and you, we've been Marine Corps Infantry, Army Infantry, we've been in our fights, and there's some people, it's kind of...
And John Cena.
Yeah, of course, John Cena, he served. Thank you for your service. And a lot of times, we've got our asses kicked by people way bigger than us. It's just part of the job. But there are people that, example, if someone's like, hey, go fight random wrestler, I'd be like, I'm going to lose, but sure, why the fuck not? But there are people that are like, nah, that's a bit intimidating. Who besides Brock Lesnar do you put on that list if you're like, nah, I'm not going to take that one for money. Or, oh, no, I'm not going to take that. I put Brock, Mike Tyson, and Fedor. Who do you got on your list where you're like, because I'm sure, if, I don't know, I'm just making some random guy up. Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler probably can beat us both up. I'm taking my chances.
Yeah, I'll take my shot.
But Brock comes, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm cool. I'm cool, So, who do you think, besides Brock Lesnar, is, that intimidating? Oh, no, I ain't taking my fucking chances with that shit.
I think Brock Lesnar's at the top of the list, by far. The dude is freakishly fast for how big he is. He has slowed down in his old age, but, man, that guy is scary. That is an athletic freak of nature. Brock is at the top of my list. I would rather fight a bear than Brock. The bear's going to kill me faster. Brock's going to just beat me and maim me.
Maybe. I mean, it just depends on the type of bear. I mean, I know we bring it down because some bears will torture you.
Yeah, but they kill you and they kill you by eating you alive. You'll die eventually. Brock's just going to hurt you.
Yeah.
A lot. I think Brock Lesnar's top of that list. Though, John Jones is on that list for sure, too.
Oh, yeah, John Jones would fuck your world up.
You got to imagine when John Jones comes at you to fight, if you're not a UFC fighter, then the scenario most likely is he's got white powder running down his face. He's been snorting tons of coke. He's coked out of his mind, and he's pissed off at you for whatever reason. You've got no shot at a coked up John Jones. I'm sorry. But Bones on a cocaine roll is going to wreck you. I'm not fucking with him. So he's on my list. I think those are my main two. Yeah. And Anderson Silva, just because I think even with the bad leg, he's going to obliterate you.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I think unlike John Jones, Mike Tyson, and Brock Lesnar, I think Anderson Silva's a gentleman. He knocks you out, lays you down on the floor, puts you sideways, pats you on the back.
That's true. He puts you in position.
Yeah. It's kind of like GSP. There are people that you're like, oh no, we've all, most fighters have been knocked out before, but there's a lot difference of, I know after this is done, he's like, you learned a valuable lesson. I am done. Congratulations on learning that valuable lesson. And then there's me, keep punching. Me, no, better. You know what I mean?
That said, though, I do think Brock is the same. I think Brock would flip you over and put you in position. However, I think Brock's favoritism toward ground and pound means the shot that knocks you out is likely with your back of your head against the ground already, and
It's
you were
worse.
fudged. Like there's no, even if he knocks you out and immediately puts you in position, buddy, your head just got rocked by a fucking 300-pound human being of pure muscle and bone against concrete. Like you're done.
Yeah, we speaking of knockouts, military story time, and then we'll go to next topic. 2-6 Golf Company, we were famous for making rules. Someone broke their neck jumping off the it's like a zip line, except, it's not fun. Fuck, what was that
Yeah.
called? You know what I'm talking about,
Eagle
right?
Tower?
You had you had to climb down that rope under.
Yeah, Eagle Tower?
It must be Eagle Tower in the Army. I don't know. That's not ringing a bell. But anyway, we had to do that, and fucking rest in peace. My one friend goes, dude, why don't we just jump down into the fucking water and swim? It's so much faster. Now,
Wow.
it's not that fucking deep at all. 6 feet at the most. If you're going to jump down
Marines.
40,
man.
50 feet, because that's 40, 50 feet in the air
I imagine
easily.
this Marine just staring down, and the water underneath him's like a 3-inch puddle, like because it rained last night.
He goes, dude, why don't we just jump down and swim? It'll be so much faster than fucking crawling on these ropes. And all I hear is, I think it's a little, and they were about to say a little high. This motherfucker dives face first, 100 feet down and 6 feet.
Oh my god.
He's fucking dead. And then they're like, there's literally, you know what the military did? They put up a sign that said, please don't dive off. Dangerous. But anyway, speaking of knockouts, what we used to do is the Macho Man Challenge. If you got knocked out, we would drag you to this little mat and we'd jump off and elbow drop you.
Nice. That sucks.
I wonder why I have concussion problems. But yeah, the 2-6 Golf Company, Brock would fit in perfectly. It was just a bunch of psychopaths. I think it's a little... he's gone. He's dead. Guys, don't jump off high stuff into shallow water. Thank you for coming to our TED Talk.
Marines love puddles.
And Marines love Michael Cole. Michael Cole. Marine. Wait, I can do a better transition. Take 2. The way Marines love puddles is the way WWE loves Michael Cole. Michael Cole is going to be the face of WWE. Endeavor decided, hey, we just want one guy to be the voice, kind of like Joe Rogan, Dana White in the UFC. To like, if this guy's the face, it brings more value. I think anytime he worked with Vince McMahon, we moan and groan about this. I think this happens years ago, we complain. Vince McMahon not screaming at this guy every fucking word, he's become a million times better. Who knew not getting screamed at 24/7 makes you a better commentator? Oh, everyone knew that except Vince? So... congrats to Adam Cole. I keep saying Adam Cole.
Michael Cole.
Baby! Michael Cole, baby! What's your thoughts on Michael Cole? And I feel like the fan base loves him so much more now that Vince isn't yelling at him every 10 seconds.
Yeah, I think he's been phenomenal. I think it's easy for people to forget a few things. One, he's a legitimate journalist. Like, he's a real journalist who went to WWE. Like,
I believe it was in the Iraq War. I could be wrong.
yeah, he's a war journalist.
Yeah, Semper Fi.
Yeah, he's a legitimate war journalist, like real journalist. So, I mean, the guy has chops. And there were glimpses of what he was like without Vince in his ear, and they were all on things Vince didn't care about. But he 100% is given credit for making big impacts. A lesser one is Beast in the East, where everybody's like, holy shit, is this Michael Cole without someone in his ear? He was great on this.
Yeah.
But the other one was NXT in the dark days of NXT. Michael Cole's commentary made it the only thing watchable, was his commentary.
Yeah.
At times. It was awful.
Yeah. But
so I think it's good to see him shine.
I'm just so happy for him because let's say this deal happens with Vince still yelling in his ear. Me and the raccoon are booing him out of the building. And for those that are like super into yelling at your employees, it doesn't always work. It doesn't always work. Sometimes you have to, though. But here's the thing. The older I get, I don't think I yell at my employees. I just fire them. It's like, I'm about to yell.
Yelling's a lot of energy.
What's that?
Yelling's a lot of energy.
Yeah, it is. It's like, hey, man, I'm not going to yell at you, dude. It's just not working out. Good luck with that, buddy. But yeah, I just can't believe the night and day difference of Michael Cole with and without Vince in his ear. And knowing Vince, the fact that so many people loved him in Beast to the East in Japan, you know that made Vince even more pissed off to yelling at him even more in his ear. You know what I mean? He's not the type of guy.
Give me 1 second. Hold on.
No problem.
Sorry.
Vince is not the type of guy to go. Vince is not the type of guy to be like, yeah, I know, you did great without me screaming. No, he probably has so much pride that he yelled at him even more. He's like, Michael Cole, how dare you do a good job in Japan? Brah! Oh, man. And not that, but there's also the clip of him where he, like, makes a mistake, and he's like, do I gotta say this every goddamn time? And you just hear Michael Cole's end, like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. Yeah, it's absolutely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. So, Michael Cole, thank you for improving. Vince, not cool. And he is now the face of WWE, so that means he'll be working more than we'll be watching. He'll be on Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views. I don't know if he's going to be on NXT too, but he's going to be everywhere. Yeah, let's read this off WrestleLamia while we're waiting for him. No affiliation whatsoever. It's from PW Insider. It's been reported the main reason for WWE's commentary change is a request from Endeavor and WWE's broadcast partner to have Michael Cole as the face of the product going forward. And if that headline came out a few years earlier, I think people would be pissed. All right, I was running out of Michael Cole stories and facts. I'm like, if you didn't come back, I'd be like, and his Wikipedia page says he's 5'9". And his Wikipedia page says he's 186.5 pounds before broadcast, but 176 after broadcast. I was running out of Michael Cole facts and stories. Welcome back, sir.
No, the rest of it you would have just had to go solo.
Yeah, I'd just be like, here's the thing. How long do you think I'd go with Michael Cole facts until the next subject?
I would have hoped not long, but I don't know how many Michael Cole facts you did.
I don't know. I was pulling up WrestleLamia. I was like, Wikipedia page is next. Let's go see how he feels on his personal Twitter account. All right, this is the longest we ever talked about Michael Cole. Congratulations. Let's move on. Next topic. Kairi, one of the greatest female wrestlers out there, is headed to WWE sooner rather than later. So most likely they're going to wrap up all her storylines in Stardom and the rest of the world, and she's headed on over. Japanese women's wrestling absolutely dominating right now. So, congrats on the Japanese women moving on. And Triple H seems to be, right now, in Japan, people are feeling that Triple H respects Japan more than Vince did. But I think that's an obvious statement is obvious. But the WWE Women's Champ, AEW's Women's Champ, Stardom, TJPW, which don't get enough love. They're doing the Tokyo Princess Cup right now. Kairi headed back to WWE. Do you think this is a good thing, bad thing, indifferent? What are your thoughts? And go ahead.
I'm indifferent. Typically, I'm pretty indifferent on where wrestlers go, just because I figure wherever they want to go, that's going to make them happy, go nuts, you know? Like, if she wants to go back to the WWE, she went back to Japan. She had a taste of both ways. It's not like she went to WWE and never left again. She clearly left, went back, did what she wanted to, and was like, okay, I'd like to go back. So I think it'll be great for her. I think it's good for WWE for sure. She's super talented.
Yeah, and I feel like Japanese women in general are getting pushed more, which I feel like for the non-perverted fans that watch Japanese pro wrestling has felt this way for a while. And now it's great to see the rest of the world's catching up and it'll be interesting to see what she can do. And hopefully this will lead to more women's time in wrestling. I know that's a big topic for you, sir.
I mean, when you really think about it, well, wait, no, someone else got the title. I was gonna say, when was the last time in WWE a Japanese wrestler champion lost the title to a Japanese challenger? But then I remembered she didn't get it. She cashed in after Asuka lost it.
Yeah, and it would be interesting to see. I just hope they don't do the Baka promo again. I don't get it.
It'd be great. Let's do it again, Kairi, Io, and Asuka.
It's just Asuka, don't do the Baka promo. Don't do it.
Do it.
You're so creative and smart and funny.
Asuka's gonna block you on Twitter.
Asuka, you're so cool.
Asuka is cool.
Oh, definitely. I was trying to make fun of the Peaches.
You didn't sound sincere.
Oh, no, that was the Peaches song.
I don't know.
How dare you?
I don't know.
Are you saying Bowser's not sincere of Peach?
He's not. He moved on to her cousin Melons.
All right. First off, sir, don't be an IP jacker. Second off, Kairi, good luck in WWE and Japanese dominating. All right, next topic. I need to start with an apology. I didn't know this, but the international feed is better than the American feed. I have been saying something.
Oh, it's true. It's true.
It's damn true. When it comes to AEW, we get so much more content than you guys do. Like when you guys go to commercial, we don't go to commercial. When you guys go to picture-in-picture, we don't go to picture-in-picture. And it's cool because it's nice to see the AEW cast laid back and they're funny and witty. I feel like when they're on air, they're a bunch of Redditors trying to outsmart each other. But when they go to the international feed where it's just the international people, it's like they're picking up brews and hanging out at a picnic. Like it's just a better vibe when they're not on television. I know it sounds weird, but it's like they're on real television, they're trying to insult each other all the time. And then when it goes picture in picture to a commercial break, they're like chilled out, funny, and do their job a million times better. So I don't know if like they're more themselves, but yeah, that's an advantage. And also, I've been saying something, and James Legend and a few others, but mostly James Legend, yelled at me. I've been saying that AEW Collision and WWE Raw is the same product. And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? And you've mentioned this. They're like, they repeat stuff over and over and over again. Like, they'll have a segment in America, and they'll show it to you. Do you know the international feed's only 90 minutes? So that means what you got 90 minutes of ads and replays? Is that true?
For Raw?
Yeah, for Raw.
Yeah, they show some weeks they show a lot of replays, dude.
That's insane. Because I remember you talking about Brock Lesnar attacking Cody was showing a bunch.
Yeah, sometimes, and they always keep you abreast of whatever the biggest stories are on SmackDown. Like Bloodline segments, you're gonna see those on Raw.
How often do you see it? Because we only get one of those.
I don't know. It feels like too damn much. I won't count them though.
So I want to apologize. I would watch the American feed, but it just sounds horrible. It sounds horrible. So I'm gonna stick.
It's not that bad. It's just sometimes it's like, okay, I don't need to see this again.
Well, according to James Legend and others, me saying that Collision and Raw is the same is not fair because I watch the better international feed. If you have access to the international feed, try. There's an advantage for AEW and WWE. So, I don't know. I think Collision and Raw is the same. But people have corrected me and said, that's because you're watching Collision, without commercial breaks, and you're watching Raw without replayed segments and commercials. So, there's an advantage.
I will say if you watch Raw through the YouTube segments, Raw blows Collision out of the water.
Yeah. So it's just that they have to fill in so many hours, but that's how they get paid. I know SmackDown's having a hard time getting re-signed. I don't know if WWE is gonna get the money they think they're gonna get, but who knows? Because like also with the Hollywood strike, it might bounce back. But yeah,
I still think with the strike, they'll get more money the longer they wait to re-sign.
Yeah, and international feed for the win, and yeah, if people are mad because I say Collision and Raw are the same, but I do feel, you know, just a subtopic here, I feel like Japan wants to be America and America wants to be Japan, and it also seems like they want each other's thing. It feels like the territory days.
I don't know what that means.
Okay, like example, Bullet Club and Evil, and they do stuff and they tell the Japanese audience that's what Americans like.
Okay, well, to be fair, Bullet Club's just to play off NWO, so they're not wrong.
Yeah, and NWO is stolen from Japan. But, who's the liar? Eric Bischoff. Eric Bischoff has said that he literally was in the building and saw that they did the NWA storyline in Japan, and then said, no, I didn't get the idea from them. After doing tons of interviews where he said he did get the idea from him. So.
Well, he's trying to stay relevant.
Yeah. Good job, Eric Bischoff. Hug. But yeah, and I feel like when it comes to America that they're trying to slowly but surely, it feels like internationally, it's a territory days. Like Japanese companies, especially New Japan, want American fans. And WWE wants international fans. And it feels like it's the territory days, except instead of the, you know, Northeast versus the Southeast, it's countries now battling for each other. So I find it to be an interesting time. So there you go. So for the Colliders, I apologize for saying it's the same product. It's the same product for international feed. It's just so Raw is Collision with less repeats. But I'm sure if they add another hour. Speaking of Collision, the ratings did absolutely horrible against SummerSlam. Down 43.6% from the previous week. I also wanted to see like what it did 16th in the demo. I wanted to see what it did on the rewatches. So there you go. Yeah, it did not do well on the ratings. It doesn't say what it did on the rewatches in this article that on the Wrestling Observer. But
I feel like rewatches are where it's going to get watched every time there's a WWE pay-per-view on that day.
Definitely, and I think it's a stat that should be brought up besides just ratings. But, you know, this is the first big one, and it was a huge one. It was going up against SummerSlam. This is the disadvantage of being on Saturday, is that if there's a pay-per-view, there was a pay-per-view, there was a UFC, there was a, which Paul brother? It wasn't Logan.
I don't think UFC has as much crossover, but yeah, there was the Jake Paul. I don't think boxing has as big a crossover either.
Yeah, but there's a lot of big events on Saturday.
WWE pay-per-view on the same night, yeah, you're screwed.
Yeah,
college football, you're screwed.
Yeah, and what was I gonna say is that there's rumors, they're just that, rumors. AEW might be leaving Saturday, but I don't think TNT wants that. Because TNT is like, this is cheap and it's Saturday.
From the start, they've been very vocal that this is what they wanted, that they expected lower ratings, that they knew what they were getting was Saturday. Like, they've been super vocal about that. Yeah. It would be weird for them to change it.
And on top of that, too, it's also like a lot of people are like, oh, big number better. But it's not always the case because it depends on what big number costs. And you can't explain simple economics to everyone. But if you get a 1.0 for $1 or a 5.0 for $20 billion, which one is better? So we don't know all the contracts and details, but this was their first big challenge, and it was interesting.
Not only that, their theme is Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting.
That is a pretty badass theme.
You'd have to change your whole theme song, and we know you had to have paid good amounts for that song. To change your day and thus your theme song, already seems crazy.
Yeah. So, and I think they're making sacrifices for TNT, which makes sense. You wanna keep the guy, you want to keep the hand that feeds you happy.
Hmm.
So, I don't know if it's gonna move, but there's been rumblings on the internet that it's moving. I don't think it will. And the big thing is, where does it move? Does it move to Thursday and Impact has to move again? They
Hmm.
can't go to Friday really. They go 1-to-1 with Raw. It would be the death sentence.
There's not really a great day period. Like, I think Thursday now is the slowest day in wrestling.
Yeah.
Because what are you against on Thursday night?
You got
Impact?
Impact, MLW, and maybe NWA, but don't quote me on that.
Yeah, which realistically are not in the same bracket in terms of appeal.
Yeah. And then you'd have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And Friday would be right after SmackDown. I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, the upside of doing that would just be that they could record Rampage after Collision and have less hours overall. But still, I don't think that they do that. I don't think it makes much sense.
Yeah. I think what TNT wanted is what they got. So, but it would be interesting to see if they panic. And we'll see where it goes from here. Collision, I don't think it's as good as Dynamite. I do think it is closer to the WWE product than any other product out there. But at the same time, like our last segment, I only watched the international feed for WWE, and it's 100 times better. So, Colliders, I still think it's a dumb idea to try to split up. They're trying to backtrack on it, though. The only one who's not backtracking on it is CM Punk.
Yeah, because I don't think he has a choice.
Yeah. So, there you go. Good luck, Collision. Fine. All right. You're Tony Khan. You're TNT. Move it, or you're like, nope, this is all part of the plan.
You keep it there, but the problem is you have to keep Punk on it because as soon as you take Punk, you take away the fact that the only way you can see Punk is on Collision, and Collision just becomes Rampage 2.
Understandable. All right. Now, buy or sell. There is someone in the WWE that is taking the internet by storm. Yeah. I don't know. I don't really watch WWE enough outside of pay-per-views. LA Knight. You know, old guys are like, he's just a combination of The Rock and Stone Cold. I don't know.
Kevin Nash actually took that back.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
Probably got too much heel heat. He's like, this ain't the reaction I wanted.
Yeah, that was.
How did he take it back? Did he take it back like a man? Like, hey, I was wrong.
Yeah, it was something about basically how, like, from his perspective, his comparison was based off what he knows from his time in wrestling. Blah blah blah. It was like he walked around it.
Got it. LA Knight is super over with the WWE audience and probably pro wrestling audience. I like to see a lot.
He's won me over.
He's won you over? So you're gonna
Yeah, he's won me over.
buy LA Knight.
Yeah, I'm buying LA Knight.
Well, what made him win you over? What?
It was so I was starting to get more interested. Like, I could see why other people liked him, but I didn't love him. I was like, he's okay. He's entertaining. He's okay. He wasn't like great until this promo this week against The Miz on Monday. That back and forth elevated the shit out of him for me. I thought it was a great back and forth promo. The elements of shoot blended into it worked really, really well. The fact that he said that basically they never hired him before because he was too dangerous, because he wouldn't have been in the back, getting bullied or anything, because he would have stood up for himself and told him exactly who he was, etc. It was a really good promo. It was a really good back and forth, and I think this feud might end up being like the hottest feud building up to the next pay-per-view between Miz and LA Knight. I think on mic they are really good together.
And that's why Miz should get paid more. The Miz, there's nothing he can't
Miz
do.
elevates everyone on the mic. He's so good.
I'm not all in on LA Knight, but I'll buy LA Knight. I feel like I'm happy that he's popular. I'm happy that he's getting over. I'm just not all in. I'm buying. I'm just not all in. There's a difference. Like, yeah, I'll put a couple I'll put a couple Koco coins on the kid as an investment, but I'm not going all in. Not going all in on him.
Not yet.
But the thing is, at this point, all he has to do is not disappoint. And that's a good place to be in if you're a pro wrestler. All LA Knight has to do is not disappoint people with his matches and promos. That's how over he is. And that's a good spot to be in.
Yeah.
So, all right, buy and sell. We both say buy LA Knight. Are you all in on LA Knight? How many Koco coins you putting in? Putting them all in?
Yeah, I'm all in onto it. I think he's hit his stride. I think people are really into him. Him getting the whole crowd to do the LA Knight thing in the ring in matches is just so good.
Yeah. WWE fans really love to dance and sing with everyone.
They love it, Maggle.
Buy. I know this is going to sound a little crazy, but hear me out on this. Buying wrestling talent. I think we use the word potential, legend, and let it play out. I think those are the three most dangerous phases in pro wrestling. And when it comes to the G1 and other big events, I just feel like at the end, it's like, oh, so everyone talented is gone. And they're not moving on. Oh, there's only one talented guy. I think you can make a company, and at one time, I think Ring of Honor was that way. I think one time, I think AEW was that way. At one time, I think New Japan's that way. But a Jericho, a CM Punk, Okada stops trying. Hikuleo shows up. There's always a guy that you're like, you're only here because you're chosen. You're not here because of talent. And I know good guy, bad guy's important. I know fan interaction's important. But I think the least important thing in wrestling is talent. And I wish there was a company that was like, no, talent is important. The other stuff is important, but talent should be important and talent should strive. And I feel like that doesn't happen. And I wonder, could you make a company predetermined, don't change anything, heels, face, whatever's your cup of tea, but talent is rewarded? I don't think pro wrestling talent's rewarded. And I brought this up in my SummerSlam review. Logan Paul is better than 90% of all pro wrestlers across the board. That includes my beloved Noah. That includes New Japan. That includes AEW.
So you're buying Logan Paul.
I'm buying Logan Paul, but I'm buying him while talking shit. This is why. Oh, don't worry. It's long-term booking. Don't worry, it's gonna work out. Oh, they got potential, but he's a legend. These 4 fucking phrases that everyone in the business and fans use is why wrestling talent doesn't matter. And a random millionaire is in the top 10% of what you do. Because talent and effort is not rewarded. What if there was a company that made talent and heart and determination, we'll call it the Daniel Bryan gene. Let's say the Daniel Bryan gene was rewarded more than Vince and Ghetto proving they can get this kid over. Improved more than Tony Khan says, no, I was a fan of his as a kid.
I don't know. I feel like in AEW, talent does matter more than a lot of other things. They do tend to book the talented guys. They just don't really do much storytelling in AEW.
Storytelling, I used to say that's not true, but it's weird because when it comes with the women in story, it was people like, they don't have it, and they did. And then like eventually they became what people were wrongly critiquing. Does that make sense? And I don't think so. Chris Jericho is not one of the more talented guys.
When was the last time you saw Chris Jericho going over in a match?
Yeah, I mean, it depends how far
I don't think he's had a match in a while either.
MJF.
Yeah, but I mean, if we're judging it, we got to go off recent history.
All right,
like,
CM
we got to
Punk.
go off like last 2 to 3 months.
CM Punk.
CM Punk's who your example is?
That's my example. I mean,
think
I could pull
CM
up the
Punk's just
roster.
because they need him to be their ratings draw for what you
I
call it.
I don't I see
I think that's what they believe is the thing.
I think that's what
But
they believe. I don't think it's true.
but they have been using people on that roster with him though, like Jay White,
Yeah.
undeniably talented.
I mean, we I can go through the list. I just don't think talent as big of a factor as it should be. And it showed a lot in the G1. It showed a lot in the G1. And I don't want to pick on each company, but I feel like you're like, "Oh, you should not be here right now." Oh, all right, Jungle Boy. Should Jungle Boy have his spot? Like I could pull up an
Jungle
AEW
Boy
roster.
needs a mouthpiece.
So
Desperately needs a mouthpiece.
yeah, a lot of them do. But
He's talented.
I don't think so.
He's talented in ring.
But
He has some really, really great transitional wrestling.
But my point is that like there are talented wrestlers that get left behind. A Finn Balor. And people are like, oh, he's in the main event. Is he? He's the dumbest fucking human being on planet Earth of his character. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't understand Finn Balor's booking, but Finn Balor is basically just pain and misery for you if you're a fan.
Yeah. So like there's tons of examples that I can give, but my main point of buying is I'd love to start a company or a company go, even just for 1 year. They're like, because like I imagine you go to Vince. What's the most important part? Selling T-shirts, connections. You know what I mean? I would just love for 1 or 2 years or one company to be like, talent matters. We're gonna push talent to the moon. And I don't think that's always the case. Obviously you got to build people up, but I just think it's gonna work in the long run.
I guess it's sort of on a tangent to what you're saying is something that I was thinking about that's bothered me. It seems like in wrestling, there's this belief that once someone secures that top guy spot, even if their talent fades, they keep them there. Even if there are other people that are just as good and deserve a chance in the spotlight, they would rather keep wrestler A in the spotlight for fucking 8 years than have wrestler A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H each have it 1 year where they're all in the spotlight and look just as good. They'd rather have one guy do all 8 years. And I just don't get it. Like, there are so many great wrestlers. And when you think of the Attitude Era, how often did it change who was like the top guy that was in the most important story and stuff like that? All the time.
Yeah. And that doesn't mean pass the belt for everyone and have 800 championships. It
doesn't mean that the belt has to be passed constantly, but like the main story, the top level stories don't always have to be the same guy.
Yeah. Okada's crying right now. But yes, 100%. So we're buying wrestling talent being more important going forward. And if I was going to start a company, I know we talked about this last week, I think that would be the backbone of the company. It's like, listen, everything else in pro wrestling is important, but number one is wrestling talent.
I agree. Something like that, and maybe like wins and losses matter. Yeah. Like, I think we could go the right way with this.
Exactly. All right. Do you have a buy?
I do. I'm selling the Bloodline because I think the feud has jumped the shark with that ending.
All right.
I think the tribal combat being a no one can interfere and then having 2 different interference is just ridiculous. I don't know if that was an abort because of the injury. I don't know. It sucked. I didn't love it. I'm also selling announcing streaks that are clearly going to be broken in the match. Like, telling me, like before Ricky Starks CM Punk match starts, Ricky Starks has beat CM Punk's 2 out of 2 matches so far. This will be their 3rd match. All right, so CM Punk's winning this match. Like that, I hate that they're doing that. It's a constant trend that keeps happening. AEW does it the most, and I hate it. I hate it so much. Being like, oh, blah, 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 streak's been going when they're clearly intending to break the streak and they know that they're going to be breaking it. Why are they drawing attention to how long it's been going? It just telegraphs that they're going to break it because it's the only time they mention it.
Yeah, they have to mention it more or not mention it when it happens. Wait till after it happens.
You can't keep mentioning that Ricky Starks has beaten him twice suddenly when they have a 3rd match looming, but never before then.
All right. I have a
And
sell. I have a sell, then a buy and sell. But this one, I think it's universal, but more towards New Japan. Like, it's one of those things like, you know, like when you correct a class and you're like, you're all doing this wrong, but New Japan's doing it the worst. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I feel with this one. I'm going to sell upsets. There's just too many. And then when everyone's an upset, you're the NFC South and nothing is important. I think a good upset matters. A Barry Horowitz winning. A 1-2-3 Kid winning. These are great moments. But if you have a tournament and everyone is 4-4 because everyone was upset, like there was a 48-hour period that there was 6 upsets in the G1. 6 in 48 hours. 6 upsets in 48 hours. That's just too damn many upsets.
Geto likes to do things in repeat fashion.
Oh,
Leave him
God,
alone.
he loves it.
Or he's going to put you in a multi-man tag match.
But it's Japan! So, I think the other companies are bad at this, too. I think the other companies are bad at this. I think there's just too many upsets. Like, what was one of the biggest upsets of your life? I'm going Barry Horowitz, 1-2-3 Kid. As a kid, remembering huge upsets. What was an upset for you?
I don't know. I don't really remember any upsets.
Probably because there's too many.
They don't really stick out.
Yeah, that's a problem.
I don't know. But I guess because I'm not upset by someone winning, maybe?
Well, no, upset means like this guy's going to this guy, you know, and this guy will never fucking win. But I think that happens more in boxing and MMA because they don't abuse it. Like, I think in pro wrestling, they just abuse it. It's like, everything's an upset. Yeah. All right, buy or sell? Your turn, sir.
I'm buying the Guns on commentary. I thought they were fantastic on commentary. I thought they were really, really good.
See, it didn't stick out to me. I'll have to rewatch it. Hopefully to get another shot. Like, I don't think they were bad, but I wasn't buying in. What part did you enjoy, sir?
They were just really fun on commentary. They felt like they belonged there. A lot of wrestlers, when they're on the commentary bench, don't feel like they belong there. The Guns felt like it was natural.
Yeah. And a lot of times they're just putting themselves over, which is kind of weird. Especially if they have nothing to do with it.
The Guns were putting over Switchblade and Juice.
Yeah. So it makes a lot more sense. All right. I'm going to have to rewatch it, or hopefully they get another opportunity. So, see if it sticks out. Buy Will Ospreay. It just every year, the talent in the G1 disappears. Ghetto's favorites rise. And Will Ospreay, if you're talking top-tier talent, is the only guy left. So we are buying Will Ospreay to save not just New Japan, but all of Japan. And ELP is a close second. What's that?
They should have had Taguchi.
I mean, Taguchi did good in the Super Juniors. I mean, dude, can I just ask you to fucking
one of the greatest wrestlers of all time.
I know podcasts go out on other places. I got to look something up. If you have any more buy or sells, tell me, because I got to make sure that people know their homework assignment, okay?
I don't have any more. I did all mine.
Okay, I'm already here. If you can go to Reddit and look up Tonga Loa lays into Okada, you will fucking get sick to your fucking stomach and want to die. It is by far the worst thing I've ever seen in a G1, and I've seen a lot of G1 stuff. It is by far the worst.
Why is that?
Dude, Tangaloa is hitting Okada like this.
I can see this.
I'm gonna slap myself. That is a billion times harder.
I didn't hear anything.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
There you go, you son of a bitch. But anyway, yeah, dude, it was just bad. Like, embarrassingly bad. And poor Okada had to sell it. But here's the thing. I wonder if Okada was the fucking guy who's like, yeah, dude, don't hit me. Don't hit me. But yeah, that's my
Maybe.
homework assignment. I am buying how horrible this is. Go to r/New Japan. Tonga Loa lays into Okada. I would show this clip every day of my fucking life. It would be the new intro clip. Every single fucking day. I just want to know where the King of Sports has gone. But yeah, look it up. That is your homework assignment. And my first buy, Will Ospreay, you just got to save all of Japan. You're not just doing it for New Japan. You got to save Noah. You just got to save Japan, okay? Will Ospreay.
He's not even from Japan.
Well,
Save
guess
your own
what? We
Japan.
fucking suck, okay? Because anyone that has talent, we just don't let into the second round. Sorry, man.
Why don't you guys get Takeshita or Kiyomiya?
Because they work for other
Or
companies.
Yo and Show.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
What about Yo and Show?
All right. You had something going until Yo and Show. Okay, guy?
What about Taguchi? Yano. That's a stable.
Listen, you're just hurting my soul. But you can never hurt my soul as much as Kevin Kelly.
I don't know why you're
Kevin Kelly. Kevin Kelly's doing this thing where he insults Noah, and he's just dumb. And I used to not listen to English commentary, and now I realize, man, New Japan English commentary is pretty fucking dumb. Kevin Kelly, I love you, man, but holy shit, dude, I gotta sell you, brother. Sell you. Go back to AEW Collision. See you later. Don't come back. We're good.
I think they replaced him.
On Collision?
Yeah, isn't there another guy there now?
Oh, there is, but when he's not doing New Japan, he's supposed to return.
I don't know, man. This new guy's better.
Well, fucking Kevin Kelly, I would start learning Japanese traditions and Japanese way of life more than you do. Holy shit. You're bad.
Yeah, do it as much as Koco, who speaks fluent Japanese now.
I do the Japanese!
Like 10 years in the country.
I'm probably like 20, 30 years, maybe. I don't know. I've been here a long time. Oh, well. Anyway, buy or sell, or are we done?
I'm done. I'm out of them.
I'm buying this episode. This was a fucking top-tier episode. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe on YouTube, and give hearts, check marks, stars, whatever it takes. 5s. I don't know what it takes, but wherever you listen to this, make sure to rate it and tell your friends, hey, WrestleAM, half morning show, half wrestling show, all BS. And they're like, oh my God,
half a raccoon.
Thank you. Yeah. It's a bearded old man and a raccoon just yelling at Ghetto and Tony Khan.
I would never yell at Ghetto. He'd have 6 men ready to beat me up.
He would. He's like, I got it. Don't worry. All right. He is SidsLight on everything. Check out at SidsLight. He's on the Twitter machine. He's on the Twitch. He's on the YouTubes. He has multiple channels on the YouTubes. Just search SidsLight. KocoSports on everything but the blog. And maybe we'll have to start a new blog. Maybe that's what I'll have to get the raccoon to work on next. But first, we got to fix this computer. So, I usually stream on Twitch, but me and Sid, we're a good team. And we're going to fix the computer together. Like Batman and Robin. We're a duo.
What he means is I'm going to do it all. While he sits there and plays MLB The Show.
Dude, I'm at the point of MLB The Show that I am with, remember like Monday Night Raw?
I'm outing you. Hey, that's what he does while I work on stuff, guys. He plays MLB The Show.
It's true, and I'm not going to deny it. But here's the thing. Like, I used to love that game, right? But like MCU Phase 5, you're watching, but you hate it. Remember when Raw was like Cena, Batista, and Randy Orton, and you hated it, but you continued watching it?
No, remember, because that's why I wasn't upset about Super Cena and didn't get why you hated him.
Yeah, that's true.
I didn't watch that era.
You know when you love something and you're starting to hate it, but it's all you know? That's me with MLB The Show. I'm like, I don't even know if I like this, but what was my life before this?
What was your life before that?
I don't know. I probably fucking wrote books. Novelist. Dude, I gotta get into writing again.
Or did Tiger Mask videos.
Yeah, it's really Tiger Mask videos have really dropped down over these years. All right, YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. Twitch, we're not on Twitch, so hey, how you doing? Anywhere you're seeing podcasts, just go out there, share it. Give it a little share. Tickle the balls of whatever algorithm you're watching this. And with that, I am over. Ba-na-na-na-na.